You are listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZWLP Conroe and 106.1 KZCCLP Conroe and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Good morning, everybody. You're listening to the Cindy Cochran Show, and aren't you lucky? Yes, you are. Because we have a great show for you today. We're still continuing following up on recovery and things that have been going on because what a week. It's all I can say that we've had last week. It was incredible. And the kids start back to school today here in Montgomery County. There are a lot of kids that I think Houston's not doing it until September 11th. They're not going to start school back till then. So the kids went to school for 2 days. Then they went back for 4 days, and then the hurricane hit, and it was amazing. And and the kids were like all excited about it when they found out, but they didn't realize that you're going to be stuck in a house for 7 days, and we'll never have an argument. We're going to play games and get to know each other better, and watch all the television you could possibly want to watch, because we kept thinking that the electricity was going to go out and everything would go out because we're on a septic system, so you don't have water, you don't have nothing, and you really will get to know each other real well. But we did have the TV and electricity, and we were so blessed. But we lived like any minute it's all going to be gone. And we appreciated every single second of AC and all that because we knew usually in a blink of an eye it'll go. And I think we're on some grid in Beaumont or something, and it's not even anywhere here that you could go and complain to. It is somewhere way they're controlling our electricity. And I'm very excited to be here, and that we want to try and help. And like I was saying yesterday, I felt so guilty because we had electricity, because we had all that. And I kept watching all the images and all. It was inundated totally in every station that said anything about this, and that the national news was covering it as much as our local news was. So I can't even imagine how much revenue they may have lost with all the shows that they usually put on there. But I think they had a viewership that they've never expected as well. And so it's just been amazing. And I think that our coverage here locally was so amazing. I enjoyed watching the national people cover this and watch them totally destroy all the names of the streets or the places you're going to recognize. Where is that? The Brazos. What's the Brazos River? And Bio and Bayo and Pearland. No, they called it Pearland. Pearland, here in Pearland. So that was fun to watch. But the people are still hurting here. It's not that everything is fine. The sun came out. It was people came outside of their homes and looked up to see the sun and see the blue sky and remember that was the blue it was. And people were taking pictures of it and sending it and putting it on Facebook. The sun is out. The sun is out. So it was very exciting. But just because the cameras have gone away and are, chasing another story doesn't mean that this hasn't, we haven't stopped, having hurting people. And people are still, trying to figure out what are they going to do, where they're going to go. And the children that have been displaced are trying to, where they're going to go to school, if they're still in a shelter, if they're trying to figure out what's going to happen with them. So imagine what they're going through and figuring out, how am I going to sit in this school? I don't know anybody, and this is going to be, I'm going to be here for I don't know how long. And so that's pretty stressful for them as well. So we have a lot of prayer requests, and that all the churches and all the people and Facebook and people are praying for everybody, that if they can't get their hands on and do something, they're certainly praying about it. So it's been exciting. And yesterday we talked about how we can help, and we even have more hands-on today with our guests, and we're going to be talking about what they have come up with, what they're doing, and how they've been helping. And this started back, I think the connection started back in Hurricane Ike. I don't know if everybody remembers Ike. Ike was scary, and it was really scary. But this became the monster that it did so quickly. And now we're looking at Irma. I can't believe they're even, I would say, like, don't even talk about Irma. Don't even talk about it. Just ignore her until we can get through this, because this is ridiculous. And they started when she was so far way out there and start talking about it on top of Harvey. Please, guys, we've had enough drama and enough stress and enough empty shells with no water, bread, or batteries. So I am ready for, and the people in Florida are really nervous because they watched this all week as well. And now they turn around, they still see on TV, I think this may be coming to us. And it looks like there's a bigger number associated with this hurricane than with Harvey. So we need to add them to our prayer list as well. It's like, hopefully it'll turn right and the model will be wrong, and they'll take it up the coast. It'll move up the coast, and that would be wonderful. But today I've got with me two guests that met. I think there's a romantic story. I just feel like there's a romantic story behind this, because we're over at Conroe Coffee and talking about this, and Sheryl says, it's cold in here. And Mario, sitting next to her, grabbed her hand. They were holding hands. And I went, wow. I thought they were just like two people that are representing this agency. And so, knowing me and all the listeners who know me, we were going to like, oh, she's going to talk about the relationship before she talks about anything else that they can do to help. But I just like to know and put faces on things. And so I did ask before we came over here, are y'all married? Are you close brother and sisters? Or what are you? And she said, we're a couple. So a couple of what, I don't know. We're going to find out, though, during this show, I'm sure. But I want to welcome Sheryl and Mario. And that's all I know of your names is Sheryl and Mario, because I looked down and I went, I just see Sheryl and Mario. So, Sheryl, what is your last name?
Sitz.
Sid?
Sitz.
Sitz. S-I-T-Z?
That's the way it was supposed to be. It got changed when we immigrated. It's S-I-T-T-S.
S-I-T-T-S. Somebody else the other day said, this is what our name was supposed to be. And they came over and then they changed it, Americanized it. And so like that. And Mario. What is your
Rosale.
Could y'all not have like Smith and Jones? Okay, all right. That's why she put
Sheryl and Mario.
That's why.
That's good. Yeah, just Sheryl and Mario should work. Don't worry about anything else.
But I appreciate you guys so much coming on. And I know that it's busy, and y'all have been busy. And you met during Ike, but it wasn't because of Ike, but you were at a leadership
Montgomery County. We were in the class of 2009, and our retreat was supposed to happen, and Ike hit. And so our retreat was postponed. And now their retreat was supposed to be this weekend again.
Wow.
So all these years later, here we are with another hurricane at retreat time.
See, they need to change that into April or May or something.
Yeah, our retreat was starting on the day Ike hit.
Yeah.
So we were scrambling, trying to figure out, okay, what's going to happen with the class? We were running all over. Emails were going left and right. It was crazy.
That's amazing. Well, it does. It just, one thing about, we talked about how desensitized, if you lived here, grew up here, and I did. I've been through plenty of hurricanes, and I know that it's going to be scary, but it's not so scary after a while, and because a lot of times they never hit. Right. Or when they do hit, they have just totally disintegrated to just, some heavy rain, and that's it. So we get, and it's scary, and we shouldn't get that way. But as soon as the reporters say there's a hurricane headed our way, people wouldn't go and buy everything. Right. I saw yesterday in the store, this guy had a stack full of groceries, and he was in the line where you bring things back. And I realized, I bet he saved his receipt in case this wasn't as bad as he thought. And he's bringing all this food back because he's not going to pay for it. He didn't use it. And I totally understand that. But I think that we came through this heroically came through this because of our spirit, because of the volunteers, because of so many things that happen that people are seeing. That's great. That's wonderful. And but we are just the beginning stages. Exactly. Really very beginning stages. We have some dried up streets, but there's still people that are hurting and are displaced.
Well, in East County, they're still coming through it. There's still rescues going on over there. So we're looking at the sunshine here, and right in our own county, we've got people being bailed out. So.
Yeah, we're still going through it. In some sections, there's pockets. There's in the group that we have on Facebook, there's people that are just looking for help, to get to a shelter because they can't get to any location on where they're at, or they're locked out of information.
See, and that's the bad part, is because a lot of times if you have had your phone on and you have had, the Wi-Fi and all that, and you're getting information, or you have, or being able to watch TV, you really are disconnected from those people that are just going, I've been in my house for 5 days waiting for somebody to come get me out of here.
Yeah.
And that's just, you feel like, no way, with all these extractions going on, everybody being rescued and all, but that's just the image you get, but there's still people out there.
Exactly.
It's like the Cajun Navy.
Yeah.
Oh, those are great guys.
What? Oh, my word. We're talking about what a name they have made for themselves. And so that's who you want to call on and you want on your side. For sure.
Well, one of the things I really have enjoyed is how the community's coming together. The East Side and West Side counties, there's people that brought up apps on their phone that work like CBs. And so they've created channels, these pockets of volunteers that are going, hey, guys, it's like, I'll be a dispatcher for you guys. Just call me when you need something.
Oh, man.
So you see a lot of those efforts going on, a lot of grassroots efforts, and it's really nice to see that. Our community, I mean, you got to commend them.
We needed that, and we're going to talk about why we needed that because of past, a track record we may have had, but that's going away. And Mario is our IT guy for the day, and he's been doing this IT for 20 years, so he's watched the computers and watched that grow in 20 years, so he has a vast knowledge of that. So we're going to kind of talk about that, and if you'll do it in a language that we can all understand, it would be great.
I'm great at translating geek, so I'm okay. I translate geek to English.
For me, it's just point. That's all I'm asking. You're listening to Cindy Cochran Show, and we're going to take a break right now, and we'll be right back with our two very special guests, Sheryl and Mario. A couple of great people. No, you're a couple. You're a couple. All right. It's the Cindy Cochran Show, real reality radio, and we mean every bit of that. Yes, come back.
Our talk shows and music shows are looking for sponsors. Want to expand your brand awareness? Reach the hyper-local audience in Montgomery County? Lone Star Community Radio sponsorships accomplish this. Want to see our stats and rates? Check out irlonestar.com/sponsor for more information. Or call in and leave us a message at 936-647-3776.
Attention movie lovers, The Ticket Stub is a new radio show servicing Montgomery County that is meant for you. The Ticket Stub is available live every Thursday at noon on FM 104.5 and 106.1, as well as anytime on irlonestar.com. Connor and Dick will let you know what's coming out in the theater, what is worth streaming, and what's going on in the world of film. The Ticket Stub, your home for movie talk.
Hey, this is Cindy. Just wanted to thank you personally for listening. Remember, live is even more fun, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. And if you or someone you know would like to sponsor The Cindy Cochran Show, please message me on my Facebook page, The Cindy Cochran Show.
And you're back on The Cindy Cochran Show. Thank you so much for listening. We know you have a choice, but this is the best choice, and you've made it. And what's so great is that it's hard to get away from us because we're on 106.1 FM and 104.5 FM, and that covers at least 10 miles. And so you can hear all of us doing that. But globally, we are on irlonestar.com, and you can go to that and listen. And I'm sure we do have people out of state that do listen to us, and we try and keep them abreast of what things are going on. And we have an interesting group of people. One of those persons that's very close by, that's just down the street, is Dennis O'Connor. And if you live around here, you know Dennis O'Connor. Everybody knows him. And he called to check to see how I was doing. It was so sweet. I should have called him, but he said that he was doing fine. But his burning question to me was, I'm watching all of these press conferences, and they've got somebody signing next to him. I just want to know, are they really signing? Is that real, what they're saying, Cindy? Because I was an interpreter for a long time. And so I would tell him yes, especially this one guy who he's real tall, and Mayor Sylvester Turner is very short. So he was standing kind of behind him as interpreting, and it was one of the fire chiefs, and he's the guy's giving all this information, and he turns back and looks at the interpreter, and he looks back at the camera, and he looks back again. He goes, "I'm sorry, but for a minute I thought you were like mocking me," and the interpreter went, "I can't mock you. What are you talking about?" And everybody started laughing. And it was just, he said, "I think I've just been working too hard. I'm seeing things, and I don't even know what you're saying or what you're doing back there." But it was a great moment in the press conference. And Dennis said, "I just want to know if they're for real or not." And I said, "Yes, they're really doing the right sign language, and they are saying the right things. So it's fine." And I asked him how he was doing, and he said, "Don't anybody worry about me. I am high and dry." I said, "Wait, you're high? How did you mean that high and dry part?" I was trying to get that from him, and he just said, "I'm just going to say I'm high and dry." And so that's how he went through the hurricane, and he was fine, Tina, so don't worry about him. I just want to, Tina Lockhart is in the house with us, and she's our audience, our in-house audience, and Tina is the one who's helping me, and Richard is so happy that somebody's helping me with synopsis of the show and doing things to and booking people like you guys. And so I love meeting new people, and I think she's got the show booked until December or something. She said, "I think we're starting in 2018. Once I said, "Yes, I would love for you to help me," boom, it was done. It was just like, she's amazing. So anyway, okay, so we're back with Sheryl and Mario, and we want to make sure we let you know what it is that you can do for this community, if you're in this community, and where you can go to get this. Now, if you're the marketing person, Sheryl, are you the one I need to ask, where do you want people to go?
Actually, on this effort, volunteer, this whole thing was Mario's genius idea. So let Mario tell everybody about what he's been doing, and I'm just supporting him in this.
Oh, how sweet.
Well,
are you going to hold her hand again? This is...
We can hold hands here, hug.
So y'all been dating like, what, a month? You just can tell, can't you, when you go to a restaurant and people are just talking to each other? They must have just started dating. And then you see people that are married for so many years. Okay, how long y'all been together? I got to know that. That's very important.
Well, we became friends in 2009 during the class, and then we've been through a lot since then. And I guess dating, what, a couple of years?
A couple of years, yeah. I think it's been a couple of years. So.
Wow, a couple of years? And that is so great. I'm so proud of y'all. Can y'all come back and do like a seminar on how to have that magic still happening after 2 years? That's great.
Sure, we could do that.
I'm proud of you. He's not only an IT guy, but a love guy. Okay. Okay. All right, Mario, tell us how this all got started.
Well, it started with the Leadership Montgomery class. I was actually part of it with Sheryl there, and we co-led a project. And in that, we just had to get some resources together. Because it happened during Ike, a disaster,
yes.
I saw a lot of little pockets that needed to be filled. I actually had worked on nonprofits before, and I was chair of the Montgomery County Hispanic Chamber, and I was seeing some interesting dynamics. From there, I looked at volunteers, and there's like pockets here, pockets there, but there's no universal place to actually find out where your volunteers are.
Or communication.
Or communication. Right. And to me, technology, you were talking about the Lone Star Radio here, it is about communication, and communication with technology is probably the best way you can do that. So I was noticing as this happened, Harvey, once again, I saw the pattern again. Communication was missing. East County was asking for help. And then West County was asking for help. And then East County would say, hey, we can't get a hold of anybody. As that happened, I said, no, wait a minute. We need a simple way to do this. And all this communication was happening through Facebook. So I went ahead and created a group. And it's really hard finding groups in Facebook. So I just did a website, mctxvolunteer.com. And that reroutes to the Facebook for right now.
Uh-huh.
And right there, I asked everybody, I've gone to separate groups around the county, and I told Facebook groups, and I told them, post everything here if you can, if you're looking for volunteers, if you're willing to help within Montgomery County, because everybody was focused on Harris County. And,
That's right.
Yep.
And so, we need focus as well. Right?
Yeah, and our community, like I said at the beginning, it's incredible how many people want to help. I have people in East County saying, "Hey, guys, I just cooked some warm meals. Where's the first responders that I can send them?"
Oh,
So
that's great.
there's these beautiful stories. There's people that are saving their animals. It's like, oh, like even there's a picture of a guy with a kayak with all the dogs.
Yeah.
So beautiful
Let's see
stories
that.
like that, and having been a volunteer myself, I understand sometimes this is a lot of work.
Sure.
And
yeah.
finding where to volunteer was the challenge. So this group came about. So that website name that I have routes to Facebook, but we're working on a long-term project where we can create a central database for all of this.
And it is a long-term project. And it's MC, standing for Montgomery County, TX, standing for Texas,
Yep.
and then volunteers. Spell volunteer for me real quick.
VOL.
Look.
Volunteer. Hold on, I got it right. VOLUNTEER.com.
I love it. I love it. People come up with names and go like, wait a minute. Like my Gmail is the Cindy Cochran Show Gmail. Hello, if I get to Cindy, that's it. I'm not even trying to email you because you got too long of a name. But volunteer is one of those names that you go like, okay, that's okay. I can remember that. But even if you get halfway there, you get vol down, they'll probably come up and you can just click on that.
Yeah, or you could do in Facebook, just do volunteer Harvey. For right now, we're focusing on the Harvey.
And the group will come up.
Yeah.
And it will. Volunteer
Yeah.
Harvey?
Yeah.
You think that was already
And this
50 people had that, but
and this is the reason, because the group name is Volunteer Help for Harvey, Hurricane, and for Montgomery County, Texas.
Yeah, that's too
So,
long to remember.
I don't know about you, but I can't
Thank you.
remember that.
No. What were we talking about? Okay. Thank you.
And
Okay.
don't forget also, that group is for donations. So if people have donations there, please post them on there. Even if it's like
Cleaning
giving
supplies.
cleaning supplies, water.
Money, all of it.
I mean, it's surprising. You would think that there's a lot of cleaning supplies, but because everybody's so busy right now,
Right.
people are starting to run low.
That's
And-
right. And a lot of people say, well, you know, they're seeing all these celebrities that have donated, like Pink donated $500,000, and Justin Bieber, I must say, donated $25,000. That's okay. That was a Harvey. No, not Harvey. What's the guy's name? Anyway, one of the comedians had said, "Here, I'll challenge all the celebrities," and so
Kevin
they
Hart.
started. Kevin Hart. That's right. Very good. Very good. And so J.J. Watts has gone. I mean, his site has gone crazy, and he has got football players coming in to help load up these 18-wheelers to take supplies places, and that's gone crazy. And so he may run for mayor. I mean, after he's finished, he could win it because he has just gone. He's everywhere. He's just everywhere trying to help and make this happen. But it's been amazing and just heart. Your heart is full because so many people want to help. They just want to do something. And if you have money, and it doesn't matter how much, because it's collectively what everybody is doing has been just tremendous. And if you don't have that, but a lot of people have realized, I don't have anything, but I've got me, and I'm going to come.
Right.
And that's beautiful.
Yes.
So. And the other way to help that a lot of people think, well, I'm at home and I can't really do anything. Communication right now is very valuable. If you can be just a volunteer, go into this group, mctxvolunteer.com, and look what's going on. There's people asking in there for help for the Crisis Assistance Center. Right now, the biggest need is for the Woodlands Interfaith to volunteer there at the shelter.
At Interfaith?
So, at Interfaith.
Yes, yes.
So if you go to woodlandsinterfaith.org/volunteer, you see all their opportunities there. And with them, you register. It tells you what empty pockets they have, and you can fill in there. But in all of this, we sometimes focus on one organization, and we forget
Yes.
about all the others. So like we volunteered, Saturday or
One of these days, it all feels like one day.
No,
right?
yeah.
The last week.
one of these long
Yeah.
periods, we volunteered, and we saw a need. A Crisis Assistance Center had clothes that
Right.
were coming in, and that was a different effort from Interfaith, and they needed people to sort clothes. So if you have kids, you could actually go with your kids over there. Which in some of the other efforts you can't do. You got to
can't,
carry
yes.
water, or you have to sign a waiver for something or whatever.
Oh, but to have your children with you and let them be a part of that is so, what a lesson to be learned on that. What I love was Sylvester Turner was trying to explain that what some of the clothes that people they need. So he was trying to say, and they need all sizes, you know. And if you have bigger clothes, then that bigger clothes would work because they need bigger clothes. And we were laughing because he was trying to be so politically correct on how you said this, but so we started going like, okay, now we can help. I've got that. I can relate to that. That's good, because you think about, you know, how many people were there, and proportionately, you know, there's going to be a percentage of people that are going to need some really big clothes, and so it's, if you have that, that's something that you can bring down and not be ashamed of. They'll love it.
And it's changing by the minute. I mean, immediately when somebody says that they have a need, it gets filled right away. So don't get mad if you go there and they're already full, because the need, I mean, it's moving. And one of the things I want to stress to people, while we are becoming into kind of the past crisis part of it, now we have to make sure this is a long-term thing.
Right.
I mean, people are still working through Katrina in some instances. So we can have to remember that if you don't lose focus of you can help out any time, and it's going to be for quite some time.
Yes. Right. This is it's not a sprint, it's a marathon type of thing, and that is so true. And because the cameras are gone, that's where you have to worry about people. They don't have the spotlight on them, so they're not going to get that attention. But I think once those guys went out there and saw what that felt like to bring somebody out of the depths of the waters, and help them on the love and the what they people were, the expression of love that they had for them, like, you're bonded. I mean, that little canoe ride from your house to the end of the street, you're so bonded to that person because they saved you.
They saved you.
Is just amazing. So I love that. But MCTX volunteer.com. I love it. It's .com. Okay, that's even easier. Is where we're talking about everybody going and meeting, and it's going to be a lovely party there. But we're going to be right back with more information, so don't go away. You're listening to Cindy Cochran Show, Real Reality Radio.
Remember, live is better. And if you can, join me Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. and interact live on the show through my Facebook page. Let's get your morning started.
Don't forget to download the Lone Star Community Radio app from your Google Play or Apple Store. Bring Montgomery County's community radio with you anywhere with your smartphone or tablet. If you are in the Conroe area, tune in on FM. That's Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1. If you are on the computer, bookmark irlonestar.com as your internet radio station. A Lone Star Community Radio. Broadcasting 24/7 from the heart of downtown Conroe, Texas.
Hey guys, I'm Joey Savage.
Corey DLG.
We are Nerd Thug Radio. Catch us every Monday from 1 to 3 and check out our website, nerdthugradio.com.
We like to talk about quilting, horseback riding, and baking quiche.
Actually, we don't, but we do like talking nerdy to you.
That's right. Every Monday from 1 to 3 p.m., hashtag talking nerdy to you.
And we're back on the Cindy Cochran Show. And there's Sheryl over there just dancing away to my very popular music. That came from somewhere. It was like, free royalties like thing. And I heard it and I went, I love this. This is great. And someday when I'm on the radio, I'm going to use that. I didn't know I was going to be on the radio. I always wanted to be. That was like one of my to-do lists. I was on television first. And I thought, well, someday I'll be able to get on radio, because I tried radio so I went to television. And I don't know if you remember Robert McIntyre.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
It was the love of my life. We even dated. It was, I listened to him so long. And then when I got to meet him at the Sam and Dave show, one New Year's Eve party they had. And so I got to meet him through that. And I just, I love this guy. And so later on, after I got married to somebody else, I got married. And then I wanted to start doing the news for the hearing impaired. And so I went to Robert and I said, listen, Robert, I've got this idea and I think you can help me, because I don't know where to go with this. But they do this in Dallas. and in Austin, they have news for the deaf, and they have people that, sign the news for the hearing impaired. And he sat there staring at me going, how do I explain to her this is radio and they'll never get it? What should I say to her? I hate to squelch her interest and her enthusiasm, but I've got to explain to her this isn't technically going to work. And so as he's doing that, and I said, because what I'm thinking is I'd like to go to Channel 13. Do you know anybody there? So because they do a 5-minute newscast in the morning, and I'd like to interpret at least that, get something going. And he goes, oh man, I thought you meant on the radio. And I was going like, we don't have that technology to make that happen for them. And so I said, no, I'm sorry. I should have started out with saying I want to bring this to television. So anyway, he did have a name. He said, go talk to so-and-so. And so I went and talked to them, and they went like, I don't know if there's a need for something like that. And I went, okay, I'll go to Channel 2. And they go, well, wait a minute. Let's talk about this, and why don't you get back with us in a week? And so I went to Channel 2, and I went to the different ones. And so Channel 13 called me back because I gave them the statistic that 1 out of every, like 1,000 of people are hearing impaired. And I said, and you have probably 10,000 in your viewing audience that are deaf, we consider deaf. And so they brought me back and said, okay, we'll try this with the 5-minute newscast. And so that's how I got started on that. But I wanted to go to radio. And so I kept wanting, wishing, when do I get to a point where I can go in there and audition or do something that I can. And then I went to PBS and did a national show, and I did, so it kept pushing me into television. And finally, here I am, years later, and I am now getting to do this. But Sheryl over there was with Mix 95, right?
96.5.
96.5. And she was like, and I'm not saying this isn't real radio. This is real radio. But what we consider, like a top 40 type of radio stuff, and you talk for a while, and then you spin a record and that kind of thing. Not spin a record. You push it at that point. And you did 90s types.
Yeah, the records
music.
were done by then, yeah.
They were done by then.
But I remember the records very well, don't worry.
And you weren't doing 8-track by then, right? You were doing other. Okay.
We had CDs.
You had CDs. I love that. Well, that was a cool station for you to be working at, and you did nights there.
Yeah, I did 7 to midnight, and it was during a period in time when we were really doing well in the ratings. It was the right place, right time. Very fond memories. Yeah, I had a blast.
That's great. I love that, and that you remembered Robert McIntyre. Okay. Now that we went back down memory lane and got off, I am so like squirrel. Okay, so anyway, but this is more important. And but I think that if people understood, radio has a big deal to do with these kind of horrible things, tragedies that would happen, is that everybody would turn to the radio.
Yes.
I mean, from what I can remember was we always went to the radio to find out what was going on. Because they were like immediate, they were there, they were real, and could talk to you. And a lot of times getting the TV on, getting it during those times were difficult. So the radio was the place, and you had a battery for the radio that you could carry around with you and not your television, because electricity went out. So what I was excited about whenever the city joined with our Lone Star, and that now that people in this community have a place to go, and that they can, and Richard was valiantly sitting there, and he was reading off all the things that were coming on that were especially pertaining to this community that you could go to. We have a radio station. So many people in Conroe and in Willis, Waverly, and up and down and around the lake don't know that they can go to a radio station and they can listen to what's going on in this community. So I'm very proud to be working for this, that part of it, that we do talk to the community and that there's a place for them to go, and they don't have to just listen to Harris County, or Houston area stuff that's going on. So now that's what you guys are like doing. You're bringing it down to where people can go to the social media, which we saw a huge play in this hurricane, right, Mario?
Because of the phones. I mean, now what the phones have replaced what radio used to do. I was noticing everybody had their phone, and there were people stranded because I was in Houston in radio. I was doing Houston stuff as well as Montgomery County stuff during this storm. And what I noticed is that people had their phones when they didn't have anything else. So they were reaching out through Facebook going, help me. and being
Right.
able to be that hub for people and connect them to the resources. So the technology's come a long way.
That it is, and it played a part even in the rescues, as we know that
Yeah.
people were telling, I'm trapped in here. Somebody get to somebody else. They were calling the TV stations that they saw that were on. They didn't call like Fox News. They call and say,
Yeah.
I need help. So
Help
there were
me.
so many ways that people felt like I could get to them. The cutest one of the cutest images was these guys picking this woman up. And this older woman, and she had to be like in her 90s, and they're picking her up, put her in the boat, and she had that phone so glued to her ear,
Yeah.
and she's telling the whole time, they're taking me in the boat, and was talking the whole time, and they put her down, and then this lady said, well, she looked at the TV cameras, and she said, well, I would have worn my wig if I'd known y'all were out here. It was so cute. So there were so many moments that we got, were captured like that.
Technology is a communication tool. That's what we forget. We're so busy looking at YouTube, cat videos, and
Right, that's right.
but we
there's a
forget
serious side, yeah.
Yeah, and before I forget, one thing that came up this morning, they said that FEMA is actually an East Montgomery County Senior Center out there. So for people that know, 9 to 5 for the next few days. So for East
Very
County,
good.
we want to let those people know out there.
Very good. Okay, they're at the Montgomery County,
The East Montgomery County Senior Center.
and that is on what street? Does it give you a street?
I'm trying to find out more information. 21679 MC Kleski Road, New Caney, Texas.
Okay.
77357.
Okay, yeah, and so FEMA's going to be there from
It says 9 to
9 to
5
5.
9 to 5. Okay.
for the next few days.
Wow, that is awesome. That is great news.
Mm-hmm.
And it appears to be that's working pretty well. I mean, that I think people are going to be able to get help faster than they have in other hurricanes. That's what it seems like. So
Well,
we'll
to
find
me-
out.
To me, the biggest thing was just the community. I mean, seeing people. There's people that said, I have a boat. I'm heading over there. Then all of a sudden, these people say, okay, da-da-da-da, and nobody was worried about leadership.
No, that's right.
Everybody was just starting to come together, and eventually a leader or a coordinator, let me rephrase that, a coordinator would come up that takes, okay, I'll take all the calls, and I'll handle this, you go over there, da-da-da-da.
Without a committee meeting and without a phone tree. That's like amazing.
No telephone needed.
No telethon needed. We just went out and did it. And I was trying to tell my kids about phone trees. And they go, what's a phone tree? And I thought it was funny. They said, oh, you don't know what a phone tree is, do you? That's how people used to communicate without Facebook. Everybody, you had all these numbers and just start calling people, and that was the way you did it. And they said, could they see each other? I went, no, we didn't have phones. They just, shut up. It's like, but you guys have tapped into what were you going to say, Sheryl?
Just that's exactly what you've done, Mario. You've become a coordinator for the whole thing. Like we've got people on one side of the county saying, how can I help? And people on the other side of the county screaming for help. And that's really what this website's about, is a place where everybody can go and find the need, give the need. I wanted to say something about the kids a while ago because you brought up the kids, and they did the neatest thing. Youth pitched in to create flood buckets in the Rayford area with cleaning supplies. And, they're numbering in the tens of thousands of homes in this area that have been damaged. So that's a lot of buckets of cleaning supplies.
Sure.
So these kids made these buckets, and people can pick them up for free at Springwood Marketing on Rayford Road. And we'll post that address as well. So, people are getting creative and going, I don't need an organization. I'm going to do this and take them to an organization
I think
or whatever.
That's exactly what I think came through the best through this whole thing, is that we just went and did it. We did it. And nobody called you. Nobody asked you. And that's what that Cajun Navy really, just epitomized that. But it was the one person who had this one boat or had this little floaty boat thing that they could have, and their mattress and everything else that they were finding that they could float stuff out of the house on, to dry land, was so awesome. And I think that inspired everybody. Yes. I really do. So you don't know what all is going to pop up from this, and also become like, something that's going to go on and be here. Mm-hmm. And so, because we never know when the next one I think we're dry. Most of us are starting to really dry out well enough that we could take like a sprinkle or rain or something. But to have something else happen, and the peak of the hurricane season is not until the 10th of September, I think.
Correct.
Yes. Don't remind me.
Okay. It's like, it was one of those things where, like Friday, I went to
that Friday they announced it like Thursday, or saying it's really going to hit, and nobody's taking them seriously because they've cried wolf too many times that we go like, And so I went to go buy maybe a couple of days worth of stuff, but it was totally gone. And it was like, and then Saturday and then Sunday trying to find water where there's water, water everywhere, but not a drop to drink kind of thing. And I'm sure many people are still feeling that. And the bottled water that's just being poured to so many of these areas. Tell us if I want to do something today, like I'm so inspired by what you guys are doing and what you've said, I need to go somewhere and do something. Do I go to the website first? But if I can't do that, I just, I'm 70 years old and I want to just go find someplace. Just don't tell me about going online.
The easiest way is just called like right now the biggest need is Woodlands Interfaith. So in there, go to, well, you say don't go online. So,
I'm kidding. No,
call Interfaith of the Woodlands if you're not online at all. But if you're online, mctxvolunteer.com will have all
place.
Of that. Yes.
And it'll send you where you need to go. And plus the fact if you want to volunteer, you want to give money, or you want to find out what people need, that's where you want to go.
Yeah, post it in there, and there'll be somebody. I can guarantee you somebody will jump on it and say something.
And get back to you.
Get back to you. Now be patient, because these people are volunteers also. So they also have to take care of themselves.
That's right.
This is a volunteer effort Sheryl and I are doing.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to take time for ourselves. And to all the volunteers out there and first responders, I want to let them know, take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of other people.
I love that you said that, because that's what I want to talk about when we come back, is the first responders who are out there giving all their time, and their homes have been flooded. And they're... Don't make me cry again. Okay, all right. We will be right back. You're listening to Cindy Cochran Show, Real Reality Radio. Don't go away.
The Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service has been dedicated to educating Texans for over a century. In 1915, the Extension Program was established under the federal Smith-Lever Act to deliver university knowledge and agricultural research findings directly to the people. Ever since, AgriLife Extension programs have addressed the emerging issues of the day, serving diverse populations across the state. Texans turn to Extension for solutions in horticulture, agriculture, 4-H and youth, and family and consumer sciences. Extension agents respond not only with answers, but also with resources and services that result in significant returns on investment to boost the economy. Join us Fridays at 1 o'clock for the AgriLife Extension Hour.
A Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's radio station with talk, music, weather, and traffic for Montgomery County. Have a question or comment about one of our shows? Want to know how to reach a host? Just contact the station at irlonestar.com or call in and leave a message at 936-647-3776. Get involved with your community with Lone Star Community Radio.
Hi, this is Cindy. Thank you for taking the time to snuggle up with a good computer and a latte grande and listen to the Cindy Cochran Show, having fun with the world's news and local happenings in your own backyard.
And we're back on the Cindy Cochran Show with Sheryl and Mario show on the other side of the table right now, talking about how you can get involved, and you feel like you've been involved all week watching, but now you can do something about it and feel better about yourself, because I felt so guilty not doing anything. I wanted to do something to help somebody. So this is a perfect way to find out, is the MCTX volunteers, which you're going to go to. But right now, I do want to promote this. It's going to happen, a benefit concert to support Hurricane Harvey's smallest evacuees. These are the babies that were in the neonatal, and they have to be transferred. They had to be transferred out of a hospital to another hospital, and the parents have to sit there as the helicopter flies away, and they have to go find, where they're going to be and get to them. And what Caden's Hope does, and Caden, C-A-I-D-E-N, I know that's right, C-A-I-D-E-N Hope Foundation, that's what they take care of, the parents of premature babies and babies in crisis and stuff, and they try and get them places they can stay and give them money for gas and and help them feed them, and so they're extending that to these parents that are having to follow their babies to different places where they're having to be transferred because of the storm. So there's going to be a benefit concert, and this is going to happen on Friday, September 8th. And it's going to Mary Sarah and her band. Amazing. You get to hear them. Do-Si Do, the big barn on I-45 in the Woodlands, Texas. And so if you guys are looking for some good entertainment and a good place for your money to go, then that would be the place to be, for sure. And it will help raise funds to assist parents and reunite them with their premature infants. And so anytime you talk about the babies, it's a good thing. So, okay, we want to talk first about the responders, that the first responders that went out there left everything to go, and while they're out there doing this, rescuing people and all this, their homes were being inundated with water, and them having to, after they get off that 12-hour shift, to go find out that this is what's happened to their home. And so our hats off and, virtual hugs out to those guys, but they need as well help. And I'm sure anybody in their neighborhood who would not go down to their house and help them tear out that, soggy sheetrock or whatever, I don't know what's wrong with you. But I would make best friends with those guys that are brave enough to go out and, walk through that water, not even know what they're getting into. When they knock on that door, they don't know what they're going to open the door to and what's going to happen. But those ones that were standing waist deep, knocking on the doors to see if anybody was in there and to go through that. And then we find out what all that water is about, and they have been exposed to all that water that carries a lot of stuff with it. And they were just, it was just amazing. Just heroes from the definition of it. And so those guys, what are y'all reaching out to them? Are you reaching out? Are you finding them? Are you going out and finding who they are?
A lot of things that are happening. People are just coming as the group develops. And before I forget, another organization that needs a lot of help right now is Friends of Conroe. So reach out to them. Come to our website.
Donations, mainly donations.
Mainly donations. Okay.
Yeah. So go in there in our group and just post that you have donations for Friends of Conroe, or just go to their page and go over there and ask them for help. But
I love that.
But yeah, a lot of things have been happening. There's a dispatcher that called me and said that she was trying to do something similar. She was trying to get everybody together from all these groups. Mm-hmm. And shout out to Splendora Folks Facebook group. Those people are busy helping New Caney, Splendora.
Yeah.
And those
I'm so glad.
So I've been talking to him, and we kind of been cross-posting a couple of things here also. So the first responders, what happens with some of those dispatchers called, one of those dispatchers contacted me, and I'm sending referrals as I can to her, and then she has a batch of people that she's talking to through this app on the phone that I'm talking about. I don't know how to pronounce it. Zello, Zello, and it's like a CB radio. And she gets on there. She has a couple groups she goes to, and whatever the need is, she goes in there and says, hey, I need this, oh, I need that, and they talk to each other. So there's a network within a network within a network.
Is it that backdoor secret avenue of communication that they're always trying to find at the White House? So that is, I think with the way the communication, like the apps we have and all that, and that you can take a group and bring it down to a size that's manageable, and that you can really talk to each other and find out all these things. I love that you're involved in all that as well. Now, you saw when Harvey started, and you saw that the social media, people were jumping on Facebook and finding each other and all that. Mm-hmm. Is that something you'd ever seen before, ever?
I've seen it happen a couple of times, but the very unique thing about here this time in Montgomery County is that I started seeing the communication, and there were pockets. Mm-hmm. So the pockets, I wanted to bring the pockets together. That's what was different, what I've seen, because I was watching the news in Harris County, and don't get me wrong, Harris County did get devastated, but there's other counties around. Right now, I'm hoping that this group inspires other counties to start their own, because Rockport, everybody has forgotten, Rockport is pretty much devastated.
Right.
So I just hope there's some organizations already sending help over there, but we can't forget about it. It's not just us guys, it's everybody.
That's true. And that the Pray for Texas, it won't go away for I hope everybody will always continue to pray for Texas. But we do put out an attitude of like, we got this. We don't need nobody else. Don't mess with us and all this. But we have been humbled by the fact of all these people from New York to whatever have been Cindy Yankees coming in here and helping. So we've been very, very, proud to have
bringing
everybody
together.
It does.
Beautiful.
That's what I love.
That's the beauty
of
this horrible event, is the way people are coming together and the love that's breaking down all the barriers that we usually think we see.
Exactly.
I saw a New Yorker have a Whataburger for the first time.
That must have been an experience. Yes.
He really liked it. He said on the video, he said, I liked it.
But what a burger. That's where they got that name. No, that's funny. And to have them come down and see this. And so it's terrible. We don't think about Yankees being real warm-hearted and all that, but they prove themselves to us by what they've done, and they've come in. And then these celebrities that we think are only going to care about California or something, they're caring about Texas as well, because it's like Beyonce, who came from here in Houston, grew up in Houston. So a lot of these people that lived in Houston live there and now are coming back to help out. So it's wonderful.
We're all just people.
That's
underneath
exactly
it all. We're all people.
Right. So it's been such a joy to watch this, but I love what has come and grown from it, like the technology of, here's a need that needs to be met. And you think all the needs have been met by technology, but they haven't. And so when things like this come up and you figure this out, it just must be wonderful to be in his brain, to go like, what? How do you do this? This is great that you can figure this out, Mario. And you're using your expertise to help so many people.
Well, technology is a tool, not a distraction. That's
right.
The key.
There you go. I think I'll write that down and put that in my grandchildren's right above their bed. Turn off those phones. Okay, guys. Well, that's it. It's over. Oh my word. I'm going to miss you guys.
Well, thank you for having us.
Well, let us know the development of your relationship and this app, okay? Okay. Thank you, Sheryl. Thank you, Mario. And Richard, thank you so much for being a great engineer. And Tina, what an audience you are. What an audience. Stop it. Okay, guys. The Cindy Cochran Show is Real Reality Radio, and we'll be back tomorrow, live tomorrow, with more people that are going to tell you how you can help and what you can do and what's going on in this community. It's so great to meet you guys. Okay, have fun today. Enjoy the sunshine. Hi, this is Cindy Cochran, and I want to thank you for checking out The Cindy Cochran Show and invite you to listen live every weekday morning from 10 to 11 on FM 106.1 and on 104.5 and globally on irlonestar.com. The show you just fell in love with was recorded and will be posted on our podcast channels on iTunes and Google Play. You can even watch the show on our YouTube and on TV with our City TV Channel 12 on Suddenlink. So make sure to subscribe to keep up with me. My Facebook page, The Cindy Cochran Show, is always a good place to contact me through messages, to interact live on the air and ask questions, make suggestions, whatever.
Thanks for checking out this podcast of Lone Star Community Radio, Montgomery County's community radio station. If you enjoyed this recording, make sure to check out our past shows online at irlonestar.com or their respective video or podcast formats on YouTube, Google Play, or iTunes. If you have any questions regarding the show, either it being about sponsorships or questions for the host, contact the station manager at dick@irlonestar.com or call the station at 936-647-3776. This show is recorded in downtown Conroe, Texas, at the Lone Star Community Radio Studios, and Lone Star Community Radio reserves all rights to this recording and images.